Stop.
Welcome back to BVI Pilots, my friends. Glad to be here once again. I've got some guests with us as always. It's always nice to have guests on the BVI Pilot videos. And we've got Josh with us. This is also another person that is very familiar with Microsoft 2020. And we've got Brandon with us that is somewhat familiar with it. Not as much as we are because Brandon's still waiting on his computer. They got to send him his hard drive, and they got to send him his motherboard. So it's going to take a while for him to get that, put together.
Don't listen to what he says about that. I don't believe him. So
And then he's got to
he's
find
just kidding,
a neighbor
folks.
to help him assemble it also.
Yeah, then you got to put the
I
stuff
think
together.
I'll just have you go. I think I'll just have you come assemble it, Josh.
We're going to create an app called Yugo. When you need help from
Yeah,
somebody
you
else,
go.
open up Yugo and ask them if they will go and help you.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Actually, I bet you can make some money off of that.
The name, I like the name Yugo. That probably
That's a
already
cool name. I
exists.
like that.
It probably already exists. Anyway, we were here to
I bet
talk
it
about
does.
FSX2020. It's a topic that I enjoy talking about. I enjoy talking about simming, period. But 2020 seems to be in the top list of topics and conversations and all that stuff. So we're going to look at accessibility, and we're going to talk about something that we have just discovered. And now we're not 100% on everything with this, so I stress that you guys, don't assume that we're saying, hey, this is how it is 100%, because that's not what I'm saying. It's not what Josh is saying. I don't have the remote right now to test things out. Josh has a remote, but it's being stupid on him. So
Yeah.
we're asking you to do some testing as well and give us some feedback, comments, and stuff like that. So, Josh, explain to them kind of where we are with what we're kind of seeing with accessibility on where it's maybe working a little bit better than what it does with the keyboard.
Previously expected.
Yeah,
Well, um,
I did not expect
to give
this.
some to give some background, pre-sim update, I guess five, the keyboard access of this is working just fine. You can move around with your arrow keys through the menus, just as though you were using a D-pad on a controller. And I think that's what they were simulating. The arrow keys were simulated D-pad, and everything was great. Sim update 7 or 6 or 7. This access broke, and we've been having to use the mouse. However, if you plug in a controller, like an Xbox controller, or I don't know what other controllers work, an Xbox controller, it supposedly never broke. So
Yeah,
Interesting.
something's happened.
that is basically where we are now.
So
Where
I'm wondering if
the
it would also
keyboard
work with a
access is not
PS
working.
controller.
let me ask
I don't think
this,
so.
and then. So, Josh, you're saying which update is it that you're saying when the keyboard kind of came in and was working? What version was that? 4?
Well, when it came in, well, it started working in at launch, like Sim Update 1, too. Like, it was solid up until Sim Update, 6, because when Sim Update 5 came out, it was kind of working. We had the narrator. That was the first iteration of the screen reader. And Sim Update 6 came out, that's when it messed up
Okay, so
the keyboard.
when the keyboard was working and there was a screen and the narrator was in, that was 4, right? That's when we
That
had
was
narrator and
5.
keyboard.
No, that
or
was 5.
Okay,
5, yeah.
so 5, and then all of a
Now we're
sudden
up to 7.
6 comes out. Can you recall on 6 where things started to look like it was messing up, or
No. I mean, all I remember is logging, just launching it one time, and not being able to move around. And I'm like, oh, is it did did the cursor snapping thing stop working? Because basically, what cursor snapping is it's an accessibility term that we use
It's like
for
snapping your fingers.
Yeah.
it's, yeah, it's snapping your fingers to the various icons. Otherwise, because with a mouse you could be moving around and you're gonna pass
So
the
basically,
icon,
when you move the
and
arrow,
it's
it
gonna
would
be all kind
snap it to that point.
snap direct to the icon.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easier way of moving on the screen
So our
while
question
still
right
having a mouse
now
pointer.
to anyone that might be, involved with the development with Microsoft 2020, or if you are even on part of that team, what happened? What did you guys do?
Yeah.
And to where all of a sudden the keyboard is, I'm not going to say even 80%, because we're not at 80% with the keyboard. We're at like, right now, honestly, I would say more like 50-50.
Where
Yeah.
it's
That's
weird
what I would
because
say.
the world map screen to
Yeah.
get keyboard access, you click world
It
map,
works.
you can move around with the arrow keys.
That's why I say 50-50.
Go
like,
to options,
half
it stops
of it,
working.
it works, another half it doesn't. I did find out with options. So, you know how you're on a tree view when you're going through them options? Let's say you're in, I don't know, let's just say you're under general and you're down arrow and you hit enter. It makes a noise, right? It makes like a click, a click noise, but it doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's why. When it
You have
does
to
that,
hit
it's
right
opening.
arrow, but then
Well, you got to hit down arrow.
Oh.
And when you hit down arrow, it will go through, because that's when you hit enter, that's opening that tree view. This is what I was told.
so like if you go to say graphics, you press enter, then you hit down arrow.
Yes, from what I
'Cause-
was told, yes. Or you do,
Yeah,
it was either that or you do control right arrow or just right arrow and then down arrow. I know that down arrow was a big part of that. If you want to read what's in there, you gotta hit you gotta go down with the arrow.
because well, the problem I mean I've done that before, and I think that the screen reader on it's different because when you get hit down arrow, and so you say you're on graphics, you press enter, you hit down arrow, it's going to go to the next button, the next options button. You have to hit right arrow, and then the screen reader will see it. But the problem is the screen reader, that's where the keyboard access stops. Whenever you press enter on like graphics or sound or
I
whatever,
think
press
next time you're in there, try it. Just try to do right arrow and then try to do down arrow, because I was told if you do the down arrow that it will read what's on that tree view. Now, guys, this is
Okay,
where we
I'll
need
try
you
that.
too. Like, we need more people to help us run through this stuff. I mean, because
Yep.
yeah, there's me, that messes with 2020. There's Josh that messes with 2020, and there's also others like Declan. He don't really. He's kind of like me when it comes to flying. Like, he'll do his main flights with P3D and all that, and not 2020, because 2020 just doesn't have enough to really be reliable at 100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if it may be with a controller connected.
It might be.
I'd
So
really love to know now.
that's the thing I want you guys as listeners. If you've got 2020 and you've got an Xbox, I want you to break out your controller, unhook it, hook it up to your PC, and give 2020 a run, and give us some feedback. Tell us what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, I would be
Turn on,
interested to
turn
see
on
if you could
screen
actually
na-
access
turn
the
on,
cockpit
screen,
and stuff
screen
with the
narration
narrator.
and see what reads and what doesn't read.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Definitely
I
turn
would be
on the
interested in
narrator.
that too.
Even if you're sighted and you want to help us out, go into the settings, turn on the narrator. 'Cause it's not that painful. It's not like Jaws or something where it just
No.
blah, 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 it goes on and on and on. Turn on the narrator setting and use your arrows and see what it goes into and see how much does it read, right? Another thing we'd like to see you test on for us as well is when you're in the cockpit and you go to the top to the I forget what that bar is called. There's a word for it. the flight
To a
bar,
toolbar.
huh?
It's the toolbar at the top. It's the toolbar at the top of the cockpit.
Yeah, they got a certain name for it. I can't think of it. But anyway, go up to that toolbar and see how it works when you go left and right through there. Because I'm told that works too.
I would be curious to see
I
if that
I know
worked
that I know
myself.
that I've been to that toolbar with the mouse, and I know that it works. But it's the fact that I can navigate to that with the controller and not have to have any hassle with it. I
Yeah,
should be able to do that with the keyboard too.
right.
Yeah,
And that's the
you
thing.
shouldn't have to just rely on a controller.
You know, and this statement here is to FSX2020. Listen, we need the keyboard. If I wanted to sim on, with the Xbox controller, I would just jump on my Xbox and play it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know I said play, and that's kind of not what I mean, but you know what I... See, I'm not used to... I'm used to doing the sim from the computer. I say Xbox, and I'm thinking of a game. So, I mean, I don't want to
That's
jump on the
understandable.
Xbox and go sim. Because if I did,
No.
it takes away all the other stuff that I could be using. I mean, I've got a whole bundle of controls here. I've got my throttles. I've got my air brake controllers.
Yoke.
I've got my reverse thrust switches.
Some
I've
some
got my
some of
flap.
some of those things actually do work with Xbox. Like I know the honeycomb that works with Xbox apparently. I mean they'll work, but the problem is you won't be able to use FS Airlines and
Well, yeah,
all that.
there's a lot I wouldn't be able to do, and
Yeah,
well, I guess I
exactly.
could. I could still. I guess I could technically. I could assign. I could assign a flight. Well, no, I couldn't. And then there's
No,
no way to get
No, because
no
you
way to
can't
get
run the
the
client.
you
right.
wouldn't be able to do it.
I wouldn't be able to get the file over to my Xbox neither.
Uh-uh.
So, listen, Microsoft and the other company that's doing this. What's your name?
Asobo. Asobo.
Asobo. All we want is our accessibility to be right. I don't want to
Yeah,
ever do a
exactly.
video where I am saying negative things about 2020. I won't do that because I see a lot of potential with 2020. Now that I've actually had my hands on it and I've been in it and I've flown with it, I know what it can do. I know what it's capable of. But that doesn't mean cock it us if we can't use it.
Yeah.
So, viewers, we need your help. Do this stuff, join in and help us figure out what works and what doesn't. Now, I know, someone might be like, well, that's why they need a beta and blah, blah, blah. Well, listen, there is no beta for us. So we got to kind of treat it like our own little beta, right? You guys are the
Yep.
beta. You're running, you're doing these things for us, and you're helping us with information, and then we're passing it to the appropriate people.
Yeah.
And it's it works. If we can get this information, if we can get feedback, then we can get this information to the right people and maybe get their attention. And when they realize that, oh,
I'm hoping we can.
wow, these guys actually know what's going on, let's look into this a little bit better. That's all we're saying.
Well, and like
Um,
I said the other day on the other video, you can get a lot more money that way too, because there will be a lot of us who like to fly that would be willing to buy your product.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can get a little more money. This is less about, like, you're right. You can make some money off of it, but the amount of people within the blind community, I can't accurately give you guys an exact number, but I can tell you that if
No.
I look at just our community, we might be lucky if we're at 20 people.
Well, I mean,
That's
Worldwide,
just the
factor in
people
that
that we know
cost
about.
by
That's just
20
people we
people,
know,
though.
though.
It's
Well, I know, but
yeah.
Because I know for a fact that once It's Your Plane, for example, shut down, there was a lot of people that just gave up on simming because they didn't think that,
Oh yeah.
that there were other options available.
Yeah, I'm sure
Well,
there's
I
a lot
mean,
more
we
people
we
out there.
kind
You know,
of
there's
did.
Justin. Justin's came on, and Justin, I
Yeah.
don't know where you've been, my friend, but hopefully we see you again soon.
Oh, he's
Um,
been around. I've been chatting with him off and on.
so again, you know, this is about just helping each other with information. As an instructor of mine has always told me, Johnny, you don't know what you don't know. And
Hmm.
that's true. We don't know what we don't know.
I agree with that.
So if you bring something that you know that we didn't know, then now we know. That could be a tongue twister.
Exactly.
If you tell us something we
Exactly.
didn't know that you knew that we didn't know, now we know what you know that we didn't know. You know?
Yeah.
But no, seriously,
Well, and I was gonna
we want
comment.
your help, guys. And so,
Yeah, absolutely.
give us your thoughts, feedback, questions, comments. Test it out. Tell us how it worked. You can even do a short video if you want to do a short video and send it to us. I'd be
Oh
glad to
yeah,
put it
that'd
up
be
here.
cool too.
So, Brandon, what was you going to say?
I was gonna comment to Josh earlier when you were saying a lot of people just gave up on flying when It's Your Plane it went by the wayside. I mean, you and I kind of did too because we weren't sure what other options were out there. If you remember, we were going, "What's out there
Yeah,
for us
but
to
I mean,
sim?"
there was a ton. There was a big community around It's Your Plane though. Even after
Yeah, I
Robert stopped
remember there
developing it, they
was.
were
So,
just maintaining it.
there are people out there that's not part of BVI and they sim. I know that for a fact. I remember about,
Hmm.
matter of fact, you guys have reminded me about this, and I've been wanting to say something about it. Um, and I might even do a separate video someday and have this topic by itself. But you've got different ways of flying. You've got different sims.
Yep.
You've got Microsoft 2020. You've got P3D. There was wasn't there even like a Microsoft 2000 or something?
FSX Steam Edition
there was
2004.
Yeah,
there was
2004.
there was well, it was Microsoft 2004 Century of Flight. That actually wasn't on Steam. Steam wasn't even around in 2000
No, that
when
wasn't
it came
Steam.
out.
No.
No.
That was just CD actually.
Ops
Mhm.
27.
And then you have
Stop recording checkbox checked.
X-Plane.
Before that, there was Flight Simulator 2002 as well.
yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
I mean, so it goes way
2002
back.
X-Plane. And then you have the program that some people like to criticize and blah blah blah, and that's fine. You want to criticize it? That's your opinion. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not a sim. But
I know exactly
Yeah,
where you're
yeah.
going with this
where
one.
am I going, Brandon?
You're referring to FS Tramp,
No, I'm not.
No, Eurofly.
Talking about
I
Eurofly.
thought.
And here's what I wanted.
Oh, Eurofly.
Here's what I wanted to say about Eurofly. Amanda.
It's okay. It's not.
Amanda is a very very new simmer, visually impaired. She's from I'm wanting to say Omaha, but I might have that wrong. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Amanda. But you guys, when I say you guys, you should know who you are if it's you doing it. You want to make fun of her. You want to go on there and you want to troll her while she's on Euro. You want to call her names. You want to call her out from being, because she's not sighted. Let me tell you something. Do you think that you're any better by calling somebody names?
I
Do you
mean,
think you're any better
what's-
by making fun of her for using Eurofly? Who are you to judge that? Here's my other question. You freaking idiot. Here's my question. If it's so bad to be on Eurofly, why are you on it? You're on
That
it.
is a valid point.
So why is it so bad that she's on it?
Yeah, I don't understand
Wait
that
a second.
either.
They were making fun of her for
So
not being sighted on Eurofly. Everybody's blind on Eurofly, so that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
no.
No.
That ain't what I'm saying. They was making fun of. There was blind comments made to her, and
Uh,
Eurofly is also visual though. It's not just a blank
Yeah.
screen. Hey,
no.
yo, I'm recording. Hold on. Why are you giving her a hard time? Because she's new is where I'm going with this. They're giving her a hard time because she's new and she doesn't know how to do a lot of stuff.
That's horrible.
That's
It really is.
That's unacceptable.
why.
I mean,
That's
Eurofly is-
inexcusable.
There's a lot of steps to learn with even with Eurofly, even with its,
I mean, is Eurofly strictly for blind people? Because I was pretty sure there was sighted people that play that use it too.
There are
Um,
some sighted people
there
that
are
I've heard of
some-
playing it, but
There are some, I guess, visually impaired people. I think that's probably what the visuals are designed for. They're not like groundbreaking graphics or anything.
Yeah, well, either way, who are you to make fun of somebody because they don't know how to do something as good as you? What makes you better? Because you've got 2 years of experience? Or it'd be like me making fun of Brandon when he starts flying PMDG. Who am I to make fun of him because he has no experience?
exactly.
Like, we're all supposed to be on the same side here. We're supposed to be here to help each other. So, I don't want to get too far off topic because this is about Microsoft, but y'all need to quit
Right.
and help her out.
Yeah, that's
I
unacceptable.
might even get on Eurofly, Amanda, and go through the torture with you because, well, I used to know how to do stuff on there. I've forgotten now because I didn't get on it very much, but
Yeah.
it's it's just one of them things.
Now that I have my Eurofly mods back up, I'd be willing to help you out with that.
Yeah, because I don't remember. You guys,
Brandon can too, because there's an easy way to get it on the Mac now.
There is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's called Audio Game Manager.
so anyway, back to 2020, and I'll get you on the Eurofly thing, Josh. So for 2020, any of you want to help us out, just by giving us a little information, what works, what doesn't, anything that makes it better, that makes it a little easier.
Yes.
Not necessarily better, but easier to fly.
Easier to
and
navigate.
Help us to navigate and help us to be able to do a little bit more with it. Myself and even Josh and Brandon and I'm sure others would greatly appreciate
It would greatly be
the
appreciated.
really. I mean, seriously. I'll be honest. There's times when I'm like, man, I wish I'd have went to college and did programming because so many ideas that I have and so many things that I want to do.
I know.
And I don't know the slightest on programming, and I'm not going to try to even act like I know anything about programming because I don't. The most I can do is some PHP, or not PHP, but the most I can do is some HTML, maybe a little bit of Java, but I hate Java. Java can suck my
What do you
big
do
toe.
with Python?
You think Java's bad? Try
HTML,
Cocoa and C
HTML5.
Sharp.
C Sharp isn't that bad. C++ is the
Oh,
eviler
yeah.
of the two.
Yeah. So you can leave your comments here on the video. That's the best way to do it. There's email in the description. You can email us. You can even, if you want to email me at the podcast email, you can email there too. I don't mind. I'm sure that Declan won't mind neither. We'll check it out and if it's something we're not going to answer on the podcast, and obviously I'll answer it here, because again, the podcast is where we talk about things that are 100%, not even 95%, but 100%. But you can email that too. So there's information in the description. Just check the description. Send us your email. Send emails to us with your questions or more your feedback. We want feedback on those of you that are actually diving in and seeing what is what with 2020.
Definitely.
I know I'm going to answer a question right now. As a matter of fact, me and Josh have spoke on this a little bit, but there was one email that was basically asking me if I knew that they were doing a beta now on the PMDG. Yes, I know about it. And I have spoken with the developer of TFM just yesterday. And I can tell you that out of the box, you will not be able to fly any of those when they hit 2020 unless TFM goes in and does some coding for it. It will not work.
Yeah.
Me and Josh was just talking about this the other day. And I had
Yeah,
said that I'm pretty sure it won't. I wasn't 100%, but now I'm 100%.
It's a different interface. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember even when you said it probably wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Well.
I didn't think
Well,
it would.
I watched some info on the beta too, and it's a completely different interface. Like it's not even.
Yeah,
it's different. It's in different places.
Yeah, it's not even the same
Everything's
place.
different.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
all
I
different.
pulled up
Yeah.
a video of that too. It's definitely different.
But maybe TFM, I'm not throwing them under the bus here. Maybe they'll do some coding and where it will work. I don't know. I know right now I don't think.
It can easily be done with the offsets that are available. There's probably more offsets available than are available in P3D.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get some support there. Maybe TFM will do some coding for it. I don't know 100%.
Andy, desktop, logged onto the server. Andy, desktop, join channel root.
So we'll see what
Andy,
happens.
desktop, left channel root. Andy, desktop, join channel.
You guys, until next time,
Andy,
be sure
desktop, left channel.
to.
Andy, desktop, logged out of.
I need to remember to put us in the other room when we're streaming or doing
Yeah.
videos. Anyways, be sure to like, share, subscribe.
Andy, desktop, logged onto the server.
and
The hangout team. Ops, ops,
We'll talk
start,
to you here
stop
real
recording,
soon. Okay,
checkbox,
guys?
check.
Email us with your feedback,
Start,
and
stop recording, checkbox.
we'll do an update in about a week. All right? See ya.